You smell propane and you see something like this, that white cloud, it means it is not safe. So propane, when we deliver it, is a liquid. So when we deliver it's a liquid, we fill it up in here and it looks just like water. Now that liquid will boil at -42 degrees, and that's where we get the gas on top to use at your appliances in the house. Now we aren't going to get into it in this video, but there's charts that we have that tell us based on the tank size, how full it is, the temperature outside, how much that boiling will occur in the tank to support the appliances in the house. Now this is an above ground tank, so we're going to fill it to 80%. This can also be verified on your data plate. You guys probably can't see it, but it gives you a dip tube length and it says 80% full at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Dip tube length 10.5 inches. This is going to be different for every tank, every size tank. But that dip tube is what feeds our spitter right here. Now on our tanks, we obviously have our sticker here, but every above ground tank and underground tank is required to have at least two 1075 stickers on each side. We tend to replace these once they start getting worn a little bit, but for these tanks you have to have 2 on every tank. Now, no discussion about safety with tanks would be complete without talking about placement of the tanks. So let's first start with like our 120 gallon cylinder, the upright ones. Those can be placed directly against the house, up to a maximum of 4 next to each other. And then you have to also consider windows and openings into the building. An upright tank like that can technically be placed directly under a window, but if that window comes down below the top of the tank, then you have to be at least 5 feet away from it. And with all tanks, you have to be 10 feet away from a source of ignition, so anything that makes a spark. The tank we just filled was a 500 gallon tank. If you look in NFPA 58, at first glance, it'll tell you you have to be 25 feet away from the house. And what you need to do is you need to go and look at the appendix in the back of NFPA 58, and it'll say this distance can be reduced to 10 feet if the total capacity of the tanks is less than 12, I think it's either 1,100 or 1,200 gallons in a single tank. So a single 500 can be 10 feet away from a building, but if you had two 250s, they would have to be 25 feet away from a building. And these are above ground tanks. Underground tanks, 500s and 1000s, can be 10 feet away from a building. All right, so let's look at some of the potential clearance issues that we were talking about. So these would be 2 of the 120 gallon tanks that I mentioned. If you look right over here to the right, you'll see a vent into the basement or crawl space underneath this building, which means we have to be 5 feet away from it. Now, if we had a window that was above the top of the tanks, like right above it right here, the tanks would be fine there. But if that window came down just even a little bit below the top of the tanks, we would have to be 5 feet away from that window. And as far as clearance issues for sources of ignition, you want to look for things like lights. Usually around the corner here, you know, we have a electric meter. A lot of companies are kind of relaxed on the electric meter because really the only time you're going to get a spark on that is if someone pulls the meter. Now, ventilation is another consideration for tanks like this. You know, because these are just on the outside of a house, but oftentimes they'll go underneath a deck or in an alcove or something. And what code says is you need 50% open space to the atmosphere. You know, so you could have like 2 walls around it and the rest would have to be open. All right, so next we're going to be talking about recognizing signs of leaks. So more often than not, the reason you're going to know you have a leak is because you smell it, right? But on top of that, you could be looking in here, and a lot of times, let me make sure I got you on camera real quick. So right in here, you can see the brass. A lot of times if you were to have a leak on the brass here, it discolors the brass and almost turns it black. So that's another indication that you could have a leak. I normally don't say that abnormal usage is an indicator of a leak, mainly because it's usually different usage factors. It's either colder out or you're keeping it warmer than normal. If you have a leak large enough to the point where it's significantly altering your usage, you kind of know you got a leak because you'll smell it. Like it's going to be a very, very big leak. Now, what do you do in case there's a leak? Well, the first thing you should do, if it's safe to do so, you're going to come out here and turn your tanks off. You know, so if you have two tied together, it'd be these two knobs here. You turn them righty-tighty to close them. That in itself will close anything off after the tanks into the system and should create a situation that you could be safe in. The next thing you should do is call your propane provider. They should advise you to do the same thing. They will say, if it appears safe to do so, go turn off the tanks. And then depending on where you're smelling the leak, they'll either ask you to vacate the house or start ventilating it, opening a window. If you smell a leak, the last thing you want to do is, you know, turn on lights or turn on fans, because you're creating a spark, you know, to turn something on. And you know, if it was serious enough, you could have an ignition there. Now, another way that these rules might relate to a lot of you is if you think about your grill tanks. Now, your little 20-pound grill tanks, they have different clearances to sources of ignition and how they're filled, because they're not filled on site and they're DOT tanks and not ASME. But when you first do your CTEP training to get licensed to work with gas, one of the first case studies they show you is how a 20-pound cylinder can level a 3,000 square foot house. And basically what they show you is this guy, he was cooking with his grill and he was finished cooking. He brought it inside his garage, shut the garage down, everything was fine. Well, somewhere in the system, you know, whether it was the grill tank or he didn't shut off one of the grill knobs all the way, there was a propane leak. And throughout the course of the night, it emptied the propane tank into the garage. And he went into the garage in the morning and hit his button. He created that source of ignition, the spark from the garage door opener, and it ignited and it blew up the entire house. Now, that was just a case study, but not too long ago, I think it was last year, there was a case not too far from my office, actually. You know, it was probably a mile's distance. It was actually at a local pipe fitters union, ironically, where they had a metal storage container outside, and they were keeping their grills for events and little 20-pound propane tanks in the cage, and the same exact thing happened. You know, they put them away, there was a leak in the system, it filled up the storage container, and one day one of the pipe fitters went to open up the storage unit and there's a giant explosion. And what they determined was the source of ignition was when the guy stepped foot inside the metal storage container, there was a static charge between his foot and the metal storage container, and that was enough to, you know, send that unit flying. So even if you don't have a bunch of these, you know, bigger tanks at your house, I think most of us can relate to having a grill at our house. And, you know, if you're someone that's been taking it inside, you know, because it's attached to the grill, I would strongly advise, you know, that you put them outside. You know, you should not store them inside. All right, guys, so for the last clip of the day, I figured I'd show you guys an example of what you'd see, you know, if it wasn't safe to turn off your tanks. You know, this is the kind of thing you'd see and you'd want to just run the other way. So don't do now that most of you could do this at home without the equipment, but those of you in the comments that know better, probably gonna not like this one, but I'll show you guys anyways. So, all right, so if you're ever in a situation and you smell propane and you see something like this, that white cloud, it means it is not safe for you to be around those tanks, because it means there's liquid actively vaporizing. A lot of times you'll see it just hang out in the air, you know, and it just settles, but it's really windy out here right now, so it's just taking it off. So that would be an example of an unsafe situation where you just need to get out of Dodge, you know, call the fire department, whoever, your propane company, and get the situation resolved. So that's it for this one. We'll see you guys on the next one.